everybody. Everybody, hello. Welcome to another fantastic, fun-filled, frightfully fantastic episode, fact-filled episode, I should say.
It's a lot of F's.
It's a lot of F's. Well,
Jesus.
Well, you know, there's a lot of effery.
Oh.
There's a lot of fuckery. So maybe we should say this. It fits the fuckery for all the fun, fantastic, freaking fun we're about to have today. I am Jake.
I'm Lindsay.
And today we're not going to be doing what we've been doing, where we've been jumping back and telling you fun little stories. Mm-hmm. Today we're going to be looking at what's going on right now.
Because shit is happening.
Right now.
Crazy shit.
Right
Big
now.
shit.
If you haven't, this is how crazy this is. I've been talking to people about this for the last couple of days, right? And I've been telling people this. And they're like, I get the same response. Mm-hmm. Why isn't this on the news?
Yeah.
Why isn't this in the news? So I tell them, I go, do you want to know how crazy it is right now? Go open Google.
Yep.
Type in UFO and hit search and look at the news, the top, how it always gives you the news stuff at the top.
Yes.
And look at the news headlines and look at who's providing the news headlines. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're not talking National Enquirer. We're talking ABC,
yeah,
NBC,
yeah,
Politico,
yeah,
New York Times. We're talking Washington. We're talking real people talking about crazy shit.
Crazy shit.
The Grush.
The Grush.
The fucking Grush. The Grush has mixed up some shit. He stirred up some shit.
He did. He hit that hornet's nest and he ran away.
He did. He did. But maybe not for long.
Ooh.
So we'll get into that.
The return of the Grush.
It might be the return of the
return of the Grush.
Oh my God. It's like the return of the Mac. The return of the Grush.
The return of the Grush. I love it.
I love that. Yeah. So there's been a lot of things that's been happening lately. And we're going to try and get through as much of it as we can.
Ooh, the dramatic music.
Now, one of the major things that has happened that's unbelievable, right, is there is an amendment that's being put forth in the Senate by Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if you don't know who Chuck Schumer is and you're not into politics, okay, Chuck Schumer is the most powerful senator in the Senate. As far as that goes, like when he puts his name on things, it carries weight. Lots of weight. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, he put forth this act called, and this is fucking real, the Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena Disclosure Act.
Disclosure.
Of 2023. Now, what this says is that all federal government records related to unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAP, also known as UFO, that's what they call UFOs now.
Yes.
Should be preserved because there's some fuckery. They'll be deleting shit.
Yep.
And centralized.
Taken to one location.
One place for historical and federal government purposes. It also states that all such records should carry a presumption of immediate disclosure, and should eventually be disclosed to the public to enable full understanding of the federal government's knowledge and involvement surrounding UAPs.
It's a bold statement.
It's a bold statement, Chuck. It's a bold statement. But, oh wait, there's more.
There's always more.
It goes on and proposes that legislation to create an enforceable, independent, and accountable process for the public disclosure of the records, right? Because, listen, let's say there's some records out there where they're like, okay, we have a UFO and we did some fucking shit to it and we wound up building this insane bomb thing off of it. Well, we can't come out and say some of that shit, right? Or like, there's some things to keep us safe they can't come out and say. Mm-hmm. The problem is they're saying all of this is that, and that's we know that's not the case. Mm-hmm. So what old Chucky says is that they're gonna make a group. Okay, they're gonna make a group that an enforceable, independent, and accountable process for the public disclosure of the records. It does criticize the Freedom of Information Act right? So the FOIA requests
Yeah.
implemented by the executive branch as an inadequate in achieving a timely public disclosure of government unidentified anomalous phenomena records. So basically it's like, well, wait, your process you had that you were like, no, this is the process is fucking broke.
Yeah.
Because people be like, where's the aliens? And you'd be like,
Yeah. They're not getting anything.
Yep. It also proposes the establishment of an independent agency, the Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena Records Review Board, to ensure, this is what I was talking about, and facilitate the review, transmission to the archivists, and the public disclosure of government records relating to UAPs. So there's going to be a group of people that's unrelated to all this shit that's going to review all this stuff.
So what are they going to be, like members of the military? Are these going to be politicians? Who's it going to be?
But I think who decides who's on the group is through the president himself gets to pick the group.
Interesting. Because we've heard this before. Like, we're going to create a group, to an organization to figure out the truth, to investigate these things, and then...
But this is different, though, and, and here's why. So you're correct. We're going to create this group, right? So the DOD stands up this group.
Yeah.
Or the military stands up this group. Or the Pentagon stands up this group.
Yeah.
Right? Well, so everybody's saying, well, yeah, the people who are on the inside are standing up these groups. For the first time, this is the White House that's going to control a lot of this narrative.
Okay.
Now, historically speaking, now what you're thinking, well, it's the president. He's still part of the process. No! Historically speaking, the president has been cut the fuck out.
Yeah.
They don't know shit, and when they do find out a little bit, shit gets sticky. And when you find out too much and you start talking about it, you become JFK. All right? So... because it all goes back to JFK.
All roads lead back to JFK.
So this is why this is different. So it's whoever the president decides. So it's not going to be like if he decides to have some people from the military. Sure. Is he going to have some scientists? Sure. Is he going to have some normal people? I fucking hope so. What's really interesting is those people. Let's say they're 9 people or 8 or whatever the number is. They're going to be able if the government has fucking bodies, and let's say they decide that the world will never know about it, these 9 people will get to know about it because they're the ones that have to review all this shit.
And they decide whether we know or not.
Yep.
Interesting.
It'll be interesting to see how it comes out of this.
Because all those people would have to get like certain clearances, and you would think, because they're looking at highly, highly top secret materials.
Well, above top secret.
Yeah.
Like shit that the need to know. And the CIA told a sitting president, you don't need to know, when he was asked about it. So, now, opposite of that, there was another amendment that was put into place.
Yeah.
By your favorite congressman and mine, fucking Tim Burchett. Now, Tim Burchett, I love Tim Burchett because he wants to get to the bottom of this, but Tim Burchett is also out of his fucking mind. And he very much, he thinks, why is it that the people that are like on this are also the people that are like, you don't want to be on this?
Yeah, it's like, goddamn Matt Gaetz.
Yeah, he's a part of this too, a little bit. But Tim Burchett, but when he's talking about this stuff, he takes this shit serious. Okay. And he doesn't beat around the bush. He's like, the fucking government got aliens and we want to know about it. Yeah. And he is... and we'll get to more about him in a minute. He is directly responsible for some crazy shit that's happening. Okay. But that being said, he did, and I'll get to also why he's a fucking idiot. But he did put forth his own amendment, right? Okay. So he put forth an amendment that focuses on declassifying any Department of Defense documents and records relating to publicly known sightings of UAPs, especially those reported by commercial pilots. This would require the Secretary of Defense to declassify such documents within 180 days after passing of the bill. So anything that they had garnered through any investigations into sightings would become public. Yeah, like relating to UAPs. So, case in point, how about our 3 fucking mystery things we shot down over the goddamn United States? This would this would have let us know all of this. It's not gonna.
No.
And we'll talk about it in a minute.
Okay.
Now, I wanted to really look at the difference, though, right? Because you have his, and then you have Schumer's, which aim to create an independent and accountable process for public disclosure of all the federal government records relating to UAPs. So there's two different ones, and I want to make sure that they're not confused.
Yeah, the first one is making this committee to look at things to decide what needs to be disclosed, and his is this is going to be disclosed in 180 days.
Yeah. Both amendments, and for different things too, right? Like his are about the DOD things directly. Schumer's is about like the across the board.
Across the board.
Yep. And Schumer's is very much like through a process in a smart way. Burchett's like, just fucking give it to the people and we will figure it out. He's from like Tennessee or something, you know. So he just kind of reminds me like a Jeff Foxworthy, you know. You know, like if you see a UFO and it turns out to be a Buick in the sky, you might be a redneck. But I mean, both amendments are intended, of course, to increase transparency and public awareness. But they have different scopes and different mechanisms. Here's why, though, you'll never fucking see it.
Okay, lay it on me.
Because this guy's a fucking idiot. Okay. And I'll tell you why. So this dumb motherfucker, this guy went and put forth his amendment. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then he went and voted on a set of rules.
Oh, that's this guy.
Voted on a set of rules for the whole big motherfucker thing, right? And it passed the rule that he put forth. And the rule that he put forth says you can't put any more fucking amendments in the motherfucker. So the dumb fuck voted in forth. So his shit, it's dead on arrival. It's dead on arrival. And it was supported by him.
He fucked himself.
He supported throwing down his own amendment.
Well, and then didn't he bitch that no one voted for it or that there wasn't a vote for it? And
yeah, and it's because, that's because it never had a chance because you fucking killed it. Dumbass. That's this guy.
I think I saw that on Twitter last night or something.
I retweeted the fuck out of it.
Oh, yeah. It must have been you that posted it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it was the dumbest thing I've ever fucking seen.
Because he got called out right away by another politician. He's like, because you did this.
You did this, you idiot. Yeah. So, it's getting pretty fucking crazy. And we still haven't even gotten to the big thing that's coming up.
No, there's
but we'll get there.
Baby steps.
Baby steps. So now we know how the House feels about this shit, right? Because you got fucking Burchett, idiot. And then now we know how the Senate feels about this. You got fucking Chuck Schumer had a quote where he said that, actually, do I have it still? I had it. I don't have it anymore. He had a quote where he said that, whatever. Anyways, fuck it. Basically what he said was, if you remember some of our previous episodes, he is honored to continuing the work that his dear friend, Senator Harry Reid did. Now, if we remember, Senator Harry Reid was out chasing fucking dino beavers in Skinwalker Ranch. He's the motherfucker that got, OSAP started, which bled into ATIP, which got us down the whole fucking crazy road with old Lou Elizondo and the whole, and the whole thing. And then that's back when we talked about, and if you remember following that story through, we talked about Commander Fravor and the USS Nimitz and the Tic Tac video. Yes. And then if we follow that through, we talk about the naval pilot Ryan Graves.
Yes.
Who was on the East Coast, and he was saying that his squadron would see these things every single day. I mean, it's crazy, right? So you have those two, and you follow this, through. So he invoked that, those guys or he invoked Senator Harry Reid, which kind of kickstarted this whole thing. So we're almost going full circle.
Almost.
Except, hopefully we don't talk about Skinwalker Ranch.
Hopefully not.
Man, I don't. That's a whole nother episode about what's going on with Skinwalker Ranch. But if they ever had credibility, for me, they have lost it. But it did cause maybe just because something got us here that was maybe bullshit doesn't mean that what we're finding here is bullshit.
That's true.
So, so now we know how the House feels. We know how the Senate feels. But how does the fucking White House feel?
What's old Joe Biden thinking?
What's the White House? What's the executive branch? Like, how do they feel, right? Well, what's interesting is in the past, anytime this stuff would be brought up, like when the balloons were fucking being shot down, you know, they would dismiss it and laugh it off. You know, that fucking, what's her face? Their press secretary, that chick would just, you know, be like, oh, blah, 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 blah.
I don't know.
Whatever her name was. You know, now they got fucking old Kirby, who, Admiral Kirby, who speaks on behalf of the Department of Defense and shit like that. They got him and they talked to him about all this stuff. Right?
Really?
And they got him in a press conference, and I'm just going to let you listen to it.
Yes, please.
I want to ask you about something that's starting to gain steam here in Washington, which is UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena.
Yes,
there's
I know what
going
that
to be
is.
a House Oversight Committee hearing at the end of this month. Senator Schumer has put forth an amendment to the NDAA that is modeled after the JFK Assassination Records Collection Act. What level of transparency does the Biden administration believe that the American public deserves and should have as it relates to UAPs?
Well, without speaking to proposed legislation, I won't do that. As you know, the Pentagon has stood up an entire organization to help collate and coordinate the reporting and analysis of sightings of UAP across the military. Before that, there wasn't really a coordinated, integrated effort to do that. And of course, we will always want to be as transparent with members of Congress and with the American people as we can, considering national security concerns.
This used to get laughed at for quite some time, for years and
What
decades.
gets laughed at?
The idea of Congress taking this up. I mean, Gerald Ford talked about this as a congressman back in 1966, and here we are, what is that, 60 years later, give or take. Is this a legitimate issue? Does the administration believe that getting to the bottom of these sightings in the air, is it a real concern? Is it a real legitimate issue as you see it?
Yeah. I mean, we wouldn't have stood up an organization at the Pentagon to analyze and try to collect and coordinate the way these sightings are reported if we didn't take it seriously. Of course we do. I mean, some of these phenomena we know have already had an impact on our training ranges. For, you know, when pilots are out trying to do training in the air and they see these things, they're not sure what they are, and it can have an impact on their ability to perfect their skills. So it already had an impact here, and we just want to better understand.
Did this guy from the fucking Pentagon just admit that UFOs have had an actual impact on training?
Yeah.
Yeah. That they don't know what it is, but they've literally had an impact. Like, so they're fucking real, and they've literally made them change the way they do their fucking military training. This was 4 days ago, by the way.
And no,
this is this week.
That's crazy. He just slipped that right in there.
Yep. Hold on, there's more.
Now, we're not saying what they are or what they're not. We're saying that there's something our pilots are seeing. We're saying it has had an effect on some of our training operations, and so we want to get to the bottom of it. We want to understand it better. So, yes.
Do you believe these whistleblowers that have come forward?
I'm not going to talk about individual whistleblowers.
He shut that down quick.
Yeah.
But interesting, right?
I've never heard anybody talk about that before, that it's made an impact on training capabilities.
So we've heard Ryan Graves go and talk about how, and he's gone before Congress before.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I believe he's gone and testified before at some point to somebody about how his squadron would do training exercises and they would see these things every day. But this is the first time I've heard the White House, somebody is standing at the White House podium from the fucking DOD, the NSC coordinator. What's the fucking NSC? That's National
Security Council?
Yeah. So big deal.
Yeah.
One of the five intelligence fucking things, talk about, we don't know what these fucking flying things are, but we've had to adjust how we do things.
It's very, it's very interesting.
Do you remember when we started talking, like doing this podcast?
Yeah.
And it was like, Jake's just telling me his cute little stories about aliens. And now we're like 24 episodes in, and it's kind of hard to not take it serious.
Oh, yeah. No, I take it very seriously, what these things actually are. Who the fuck knows?
Who knows?
Who the fuck knows? Honestly. I mean, obviously someone has more of an idea than the general public.
Yeah.
Because they have the evidence in front of them. But it's like nobody, I don't know if anybody really knows what these things are.
No. And then, I mean, they did stand up, Arrow, and the guy who runs Arrow, Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick, actually sat down and did an interview with ABC this last week.
Really?
Yeah, it was kind of a stupid interview. It was kind of bullshit, right? Because he was like, I mean,
did he even really say anything?
Well, he was pretty transparent about some things. He's like, he talked about, he's like, you have the spectrum, and on one end, far end of the spectrum, he's like, this is how I look at everything. On one end, you have rationale, right?
Yeah.
Balloons, drones, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other end of the spectrum, you have aliens.
Yeah.
And he goes, and right now we're in the middle of unknown on a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
But he's like, I have never seen any evidence or proof of anything that would convince me that it's aliens.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that can't be true. It can't be true. And then the other thing that he said, though, this is what's really interesting. This is what everybody picked up on this, that follow this on like UFO Twitter, is we know, because he testified the last time they did one of these hearings. If you remember, we talked about this. He stated, you remember the big reason that everybody was like, well, this is why he didn't have clearance. Remember?
Yeah.
He doesn't have access.
Yeah. He's like, I've never seen anything that would lead me to believe that. And that's because he wasn't being shown.
He said in this fucking interview, the person asked him straight out, well, could there be secret programs that you are not privy to? And he goes, no, I have access to everything I need access to. Wait a minute. You went and testified and swore before Congress that you didn't have access to everything. But then you're going to go on ABC and be like, nah, I'm good. I'm good, fam. You get the fuck out of here. So that happened. All right. And it's whatever. He says that between 95 and 98% of his cases are readily explained by, drones, balloons, which I believe.
Yeah.
But I also believe there's about a 2% that is some fuckeries going on, Now, here's the big thing that's happening. So unless you follow this stuff, the average citizen has no idea any of this stuff is happening, right?
No.
People don't know these people. So old Tim Burchett, old Mr. fucking Amendment Ho himself, somehow got everybody on board, and they were going to hold a hearing on this.
Yes.
Big fucking deal. And the thing is he was adamant, because he's running the show. He's adamant that it's not like last time, where they just brought in bureaucrats and whatever, that just talked circles around data. He's like, I want real fucking results. He's like, I want results to stand up in a small town. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Try that answer in a small town.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So that's what he's, and so they're going to hold their first hearing, where they're going to have fucking credible people come forward and talk. Now,
is this behind closed doors?
Public as fuck.
Really?
Streaming. I'll post the link to it on our show notes. Streaming right on YouTube. Open door. Public as fuck. Live as shit.
They're not doing like the little secret meeting beforehand, like, ooh, you can tell them this, but not that.
Nope. Public as shit.
That's new.
Tim Burchett. You try that closed door shit in a small town. We don't do skiff my ass. That's okay. So it's on July. Here's the deets. It's on July 26th. Okay. It says part of an investigation into claims of former intelligence officer David Grush, who said that the government was in possession of alien vehicles and has encountered hostile aliens.
Yeah.
I hope they fucking bring this up. Now, it's scheduled for 10 a.m. on Wednesday, July 26th, and it'll be part of the committee's investigation. The hearing is going to feature 3 witnesses.
Who?
So I'm both excited and I get it for people that don't know much about this. Like this will force feed this and hopefully into the public eye.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also disappointed.
Yeah.
I'm also disappointed because I was hoping for something new for me.
Yeah.
But the problem is we follow this shit too close.
Yeah.
So here are the 3 people. But it's still going to be exciting because these 3 people have to swear on the fucking thing. And, you know, I mean, it has
under
to...
penalty of law.
Oh! and I am excited that this guy's coming forward. It's the man himself, David Grush.
The Grush is going to testify?
The Grush is going to fucking testify.
Holy shit.
That's huge.
Yeah.
What if he brings up Mussolini? What if they ask him?
Mussolini. Come on in here, Mussolini.
Well, not brings him up.
I know. It's just funny.
But so someone on UFO Twitter posed because he in his interview and stuff said that people have been killed to keep the secret.
Yeah.
What if they ask him who has been killed? And then the internet, of course, being what it is, they said, "What if he says JFK?"
Oh God.
Could you imagine what would happen?
They would never allow that to happen.
How could they stop it if he just said it?
I don't think he would say it.
I don't know. Anyways, so we got the Grush, and if you don't know who the Grush is, or a refresher, he's a former U.S. Intelligence official who said that the government had the things. He's encountered everything I just said.
Yeah. I'm glad they're having him testify, because if they didn't have him, it's like, what's the point?
Yep. So, and then they're bringing in Commander David Fravor.
No way.
Commander David Fravor, former Navy commander who in 2004 chased down the Tic Tac UFO.
Oh my God.
Okay, so this is becoming
This
like
is
a
the
thing.
usual suspects here, yeah.
And the third guy, Ryan Graves. Ryan Graves, the former Navy pilot who saw them daily almost for about a year.
I was hoping it was going to be the Blink-182 guy.
Oh, no. Get him up. He's fucking... No, he needs to... Between him and that Dr. Stephen Greer, fucking that smelly piece of cheese.
Oh, my God.
He is the worst. Although it's kind of funny because we always go back to, well, what are our friends over at Corbell and them doing, over at the Weaponized, and people brought up on the internet well, wait, where's Bob fucking Lazar?
Where is Bob? Bob, where the fuck are you?
What about Bob?
What about Bob?
What about Bob? Well, Corbell and in fucking what's his name? What's the old man's name?
George Knapp.
George Knapp. Yeah, so Corbell and Knapp, who of course make a bunch of money off the back of Bob. They make more money off Bob than Bob makes off Bob. That's true. That's fucking true. Jeremy Corbell made more money off that fucking Bob DVD, that documentary, that I'm sure Bob made. So, but they're like, Bob doesn't owe anybody anything, and that's okay. He's done enough. I'm like, wait, what? This is the preeminent dude who fucking could be like, here, like he could drive you to the front door.
Yeah, I mean,
Like-
if he's telling the truth, he's one of the
He-
people that could blow it wide open.
He could drive you to the front door. I mean, if you have a committee that's like,
He will show you the Forbidden Dome.
He will show you the Forbidden Dome. He will show you that fucking Forbidden Dome. But yeah, they're like, nah, he's done enough. I'm like, oh, you guys know he's full of shit, right? Like, I mean, at this point, I feel like he knows something because he knows too much to not know anything.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's what he says it is. I don't know. I'm so back and forth on Bob.
I am too. It's like, I'd like to believe Bob.
Bob's the one that I wish was the most truth.
Yeah, but it's like...
He's not the one I believe the most, but he's the one that I wish was the most true.
I think the truth lies somewhere in between, like maybe someone else told him some of this stuff and he's just purporting that it happened to him. I don't know. Who the fuck knows? Who knows? Bob knows.
Maybe he did. Maybe he even did work out there, like on the base as a contractor for something low level, because he did work as a contractor through another company at Los Alamos. So maybe he did work at Area 51, but I don't know if he did what he says he did.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But we digress. So we have a hearing that Bob's not going to be at. They say that it intends to shed some light on the possible security risks and challenges posed by UAP to discuss the federal government's transparency and accountability regarding the issue. The committee said that the government spends millions of dollars examining UAPs, but has not been forthcoming with the public about what it knows. It's kind of interesting, too. Good to know. The hearing has faced some pushback, though, from defense officials who have allegedly stonewalled or pressured some witnesses not to testify.
Huh. Well, because, I mean, that's going into, because whatever we have, if we have things, whatever they are, we're using them for weaponry
100%.
And national defense. And that stuff is very classified, and they don't want that getting out.
Yes. The one thing that's really interesting, though, is this is the one single topic, right, that has attracted bipartisan interest.
It makes strange fucking bedfellows. Let me tell you, what the fuck?
Yep, from different lawmakers who want to know more about the UAP phenomenon and whether or not there's any evidence of extraterrestrial life or technology. But yeah, so it's a bipartisan issue.
Yeah.
It's the one thing that's going to unite. This is what Independence Day fucking taught us, guys.
Yes.
This is what it is. Aliens,
Ronald Reagan talked about this.
Yes, they did. Yeah, he did.
He did.
I wonder how quickly our differences would fade away if we realized
an outside enemy.
Outside enemy from outer space, or extraterrestrial.
Crazy.
Yeah, he fucking talked about it. Independence Day showed us this, guys. Once there's fucking a bigger bad than all of us, we will all come together. Like, that's the day we quit being Americans and Chinese and Russians, and we all just become humans.
Yep.
That's it. We're earthlings, actually, at that point. We're earthlings. Even our dogs and our cats, we're all in it together. You know what I mean? You got to get your fucking vicious dogs out training to bite alien balls and shit.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think aliens are aggressive, by the way. I think if they were going to kill us, they would have already done it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that
they would have killed us long before we.
I'm pretty sure we have them to thank. Actually,
capabilities.
My personal opinion is I think we have them to thank that we're even here. So, but that's going on Wednesday at 10 a.m. I'll post a link in the show notes to all this stuff. And you best believe we're going to have a follow-up episode.
Yes, we'll break down, because we'll both watch the thing.
We'll watch it.
And then we'll talk about it.
Yep, and we will break it down, and we will talk all about it, and it will be pretty fucked up. Mm-hmm. So why don't you guys watch it, and then tune in next week while we have part 2 of this fucking craziness that we have going on right now. And be sure to tune in. So, for this episode, I'm Jake.
And I'm Lindsay.
It's fucking weird out there, folks. Take care.